right, guys, so the timer is set. We're going to be starting off talking about Saturday Night Live's past episode with Mikey Madison and Morgan Wallen starting now. So, yeah, Mikey Madison was the host of the most recent SNL episode. I thought she did an amazing job, being a first time host. I know many people have kind of, complained that she wasn't given enough material, and it kind of seemed like she was just part of the ensemble cast because many of the sketches that night were contain the majority of the cast members. So I understand that. But I am hopeful that Mikey will get another, shot at hosting this. I would guess season 51 she'll be back on SNL, and I think she's going to do an incredible job. And I think SNL, they're going to take this constructive criticism and really try to help Mikey stand out the next time she's on the show. The musical guest was Morgan Wallen, and as for that, the main headline out of this episode really had nothing to do with the sketches themselves or anything within the episode, but every Saturday Night Live episode closes, and you see the celebrity hosts saying their thank yous, and the musical guest is there, and the whole cast is there. When they this first appeared on this episode, you saw Mikey, you saw Morgan Wallen next to each other, and then for some reason the rest of the cast was super far behind them. It looked kind of like a COVID, like 6 feet apart type of thing. Then Mikey, thanks everyone and says she had an amazing time. She thanks Morgan, and then immediately after Mikey's done talking, Morgan gives her a little bit of like a side hug, and then he just like walks off the stage rather than how people typically do. They just stay there and clap until the cameras are done rolling. And yeah, you saw some of the cast members were in shock, and it has come out that Morgan did do this in the rehearsal, prior to them going live on air, but they didn't expect him to do it during the live show. So yeah, that was the most controversial part of this whole episode, and honestly, it was super weird to see. I'm a fan of Morgan Wallen's music, but I feel like there's more to the story. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a pretty good episode, and Mikey Madison did a great job. There we go. All right, now let's move on to our second headline starting now. All right, so the Miami Marlins are off to a shockingly amazing 4-2 start to begin the year. They opened the season here in Miami against the Pittsburgh Pirates. They won 3 out of 4 games, so they got their first series win of the year. And now they're playing the New York Mets. They're currently tied with them 1-1, and they're currently, as I record this, it's 4:20 p.m. Eastern time. They're currently playing their third game in the series against the Mets here in Miami. And, we're hoping that they're able to get the job done and pick up a second consecutive series win to start the season. And after this, they head to Atlanta for their first road series of the year. But yeah, to give my quick thoughts on the opening series against the Pirates, I was super impressed. The Marlins, like I said, won 3 out of the 4 games against Pittsburgh. And something that's really cool, the 3 wins were all walk-off wins. And they're the first team since the 2003 Tampa Bay Rays to accomplish this feat. And yeah, I'm just super. What I love the most so far is that we're the youngest team in baseball, and we're showing such tremendous fight. And aside from the youngest players, we also have a rookie manager in Clayton McCullough. And what this team is showing so far, early in the season, is that they're gonna keep fighting no matter what, and they're gonna try to claw their way in there and keep going. And to me, all I ask from my teams is to give it their all. And whatever the result is what it is. Obviously, we all want to win the championship, but at the end of the day, that's not always realistic. So as long as my teams fight, I'm super happy, and that's what the Marlins are showing so far in the early tenure of Clayton McCullough. And yeah, like I said, now they're tied 1-1 with the Mets, who the Mets are supposed to be a contender. They're on that like contenderish type of radar. They're definitely predicted by a lot of people to be a playoff team, and so far we've held our own with them. We're tied 1-1, and as I said, as I currently record this, we're going for the series win here. So hopefully they're able to get the job done. And yeah, a couple shout outs really quick. So Griffin Conine, son of Jeff Conine, hit a game tying home run the day his father got inducted to the Marlins Hall of Fame. There we go. Second one is done with. But now we're going to move on to our third topic as we talk about Superman and Spider-Man. All right, guys. So on Tuesday, in Las Vegas at the Caesars Palace, super famous hotel over there, super famous resort. They're a CinemaCon, and a lot of studios had different panels where they, presented different movies and different movie projects and stuff like that. The first one I'm going to talk about is DC, as they presented Superman, which comes out in July. with a whole new cast and a whole new reinvention by James Gunn, who's directed a lot of the top superhero movies out there, including Guardians of the Galaxy. And the main reason I want to talk about Superman on here, here's a fun fact though, really quick. I've never watched any Superman movie. I know that might sound crazy. I feel like most people, even if you're not a superhero fan, you've watched at least one Superman movie in your life. But the main reason I want to watch this movie and talk about it is because the actress is playing Lois Lane, Rachel Brosnahan. I'm a huge fan of her, so that's literally the main reason why I'm interested in this whole Superman movie. But yeah, I know they showed like a quick little trailer for the people in attendance at CinemaCon. They didn't show it online. But I do want to shout out a YouTube channel here. I want to shout out the Cosmic Wonder because they did an amazing job of explaining what was shown in the Superman trailer. And then in Spider-Man, they actually announced the name for the forthcoming Spider-Man movie starring Tom Holland. It's called Superman: A New Day. And they showed a video message from Tom Holland. The director also came out and talked a little bit to the crowd there in CinemaCon. So yeah, these two superhero movies I'm super excited about. Overall, I'm not a big superhero guy. People close to me know that, but I am open-minded because I do love watching movies and specifically going to the movie theater. Superman comes your way in July, and then Spider-Man: A New Day is set to come your way in 2026. And with all that said, once again, shout out to Rachel Brosnahan. I think she's gonna kill it as Lois Lane, and I can't wait to see Tom Holland come back as Spider-Man for the fourth time. All right, I'm getting better, guys, little by little, little by little. Now we're gonna move on to our second sports topic, which is the Miami Heat, as they're currently on a 5-game winning streak, and away we go. So yeah, the Miami Heat right now, about 7 or 8 games left in the regular season. We're currently playing our best basketball of the season. We're on a 5-game winning streak. I'm recording this on Wednesday, April 2nd at 4:24 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. We have a tough test as we play a road game in Boston against arguably the best team in the league, the defending champion, and a team that's been dominating us as of recent in the Boston Celtics. And, hopefully we're able to go out there, show tremendous fight, and pick up our 6th consecutive win. I'm very much hoping that Andrew Wiggins will be available. He's missed the last 2 games, I believe, with a knee contusion type of injury. And I feel specifically in this matchup against such a big and tall team like Boston, we need our long, elite defender wing and Andrew Wiggins to try to keep up with Boston's duo of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. So I'm hoping that Wiggins is somehow able to find his way on the court tonight. We shall see. Hopefully you guys are hearing this on Thursday. Hopefully we're all celebrating and happy that the Heat were able to beat Boston and pick up their 6th straight win. And yeah, throughout this whole winning streak, in my opinion, the main recipe for success has been we've been finally able to get back to that classic Heat defense that we've all seen and we all love throughout all these years with Eric Spoelstra. When the Heat defense is elite, we're hard to beat regardless of who's on our team, regardless of our record. And yeah, with all that said, there's about 7 or 8 games left in the regular season. I believe we currently sit at the ninth seed in the Eastern Conference, and it's looking like we're either gonna finish 8, 9, or 10. There is a good chance. I'm feeling right now that we're gonna end up in 8th because, like I said, we're playing our best ball of the year, and then some of these teams that we're close with, like Chicago and Atlanta, they've been super inconsistent as of late. So my feeling is that we'll most likely end up in 8th. I think Orlando will end up in 7th, and I would love to head to Orlando to see the Heat take on the Magic for a chance at the playoffs. All right. Now, guys, we'll move on to our final topic of this debut of the Flame Round. We're going to go back into the sports world, and we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers, and we're also going to talk about my thoughts on some new NFL rules starting now. So Aaron Rodgers, let's begin with him. He is still a free agent. He did meet with the Pittsburgh Steelers recently. He had a long meeting there. I believe it was 6 hours. He met with their general manager. He also met with Mike Tomlin. He was there in the Pittsburgh Steelers facility. Ultimately, he hasn't signed anywhere. I still believe he wants to land on the Minnesota Vikings. That's my take on this whole thing. The Vikings, last week there was reports that it sounded like they were closing, the door and not really going to welcome in Rodgers, and they're going to just focus on J.J. McCarthy. Now, a couple of days ago, at the owners' meetings in West Palm Beach here, in West Palm Beach, Florida, or I don't know if that wasn't at the owners' meeting. I believe that was in Minnesota maybe, but the Vikings GM was asked about Rodgers, and it kind of sounded like the door will continue to be open for Rodgers, and ultimately my prediction is that he's gonna end up in Minnesota. I really want to see him in Pittsburgh because I'm a huge Mike Tomlin guy. I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers guy. I know all they want to do is win. But my feeling is that he has to end up in Minnesota because if he really wanted to be a Steeler, I feel like he would have signed there like a long time ago. Now to switch into the NFL rules. So a couple new rules just got approved for next season at the NFL owners meetings here in West Palm Beach, Florida. One of them I don't like at all. Now on touchbacks, on kickoffs, the offense will get the ball at the 35-yard line. For years it was a 20, then they changed it to a 25, then they changed it to the 30 a couple years ago, and now it's going to be at the 35. I don't like this rule at all. I think it's obviously helping offense, and it's the NFL wanting more scoring, I'm guessing. And then it's obviously not helping defenses at all, so I don't understand that rule at all. One of the rules I do like is that now in overtime, both teams will have a chance to possess the ball. And another one I like on first downs, when reviewing first downs, it's going to be through basically through AI. It's going to be through a computer, and then the referees will be used as backups. So yeah, guys, that's the final topic of the Flame Round debut here on the Flame Entertainment and Sports. I hope you guys enjoyed the debut of our new segment. It's not guaranteed that we're going to keep doing this on a consistent basis. I just wanted to, it's an idea I thought of, and I wanted to try it out today on the show and kind of test it out. I really appreciate if you guys could let me know, whether it be through Instagram or TikTok, if you enjoyed this segment. If you think there should be any improvements, if there's any topics you want to hear on the Flame Round in next week's episode, send them my way, and I'd love to cover. And I'll be sure to shout your names out on here on the podcast as well. But yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the debut of the Flame Round.